Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into mindfulness, specifically how it links up with personal growth.
Right. Thinking about it as like a real tool you can use, not just some abstract idea.
Exactly, something practical for, your own journey of learning and improving yourself day to day.
And yeah, I think sometimes people hear mindfulness and think, oh, this sounds complicated, or maybe just another thing to add to the to-do list.
Totally. But we're really focusing today on just the power of being present, how surprisingly big the effects can be even from simple presence.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you.
It does. And we're drawing from mindfulness for personal growth, becoming present in your life. Specifically, there was this really great conversation.
The one on the inner path
Yeah,
between the two speakers there.
that's the one. Really thoughtful. So our mission, let's say, for this deep dive is to kind of pull out the key ideas. How can bringing mindfulness into daily life actually help you grow?
And give folks some, real starting points,
Yeah.
practical stuff.
Okay, let's dig in. So one of the speakers was asked for, like, their definition of mindfulness. How did they put it?
It was actually pretty neat and tidy.
Yeah.
Basically, paying attention on purpose
Yeah.
to the present moment.
Okay. On purpose.
And this is the kicker, without judgment.
Oh, right. That without judgment part feels huge.
Yeah.
Because we're always judging, aren't we?
Constantly. It's about just observing what is, not slapping a label on it like good or bad.
Yeah, and they pointed out how often our heads are somewhere else entirely, like replaying yesterday or stressing about tomorrow.
Stuck in the past or the future. And the other speaker added their take, saying mindfulness is kind of like a way to just be here.
So pull yourself out of that autopilot mode we all slip into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, that autopilot mode, living in our thoughts instead of, right now,
Yeah.
that's a real barrier sometimes.
Well, for sure, to actually changing or growing.
Yeah.
So one of them shared how they first got into mindfulness. It was during a really stressful time at work.
Right, feeling totally overwhelmed, disconnected. And a friend suggested, almost casually, just try breathing for 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. And they were skeptical, weren't they?
Very. But tried it anyway. And surprisingly, even that short practice felt grounding somehow.
And that's such a key point, I think, because it kind of pushes back against this idea that mindfulness has to be this like instant, massive lightning bolt experience.
Precisely. It often starts really subtly, just noticing small things.
Like what?
Well, like your breath going in and out,
Mm.
or the feeling of your feet on the floor, even just really tasting your food.
And they made that point about eating a meal without your phone being like almost revolutionary.
Yeah, it sounds basic, but think about it.
Yeah.
How often do we actually do that? Just eat.
So rarely. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When was the last time I just focused on, say, the taste of coffee without scrolling or thinking about 10 other things?
Exactly. Our attention gets hijacked so easily.
So, okay, connect the dots for us. How does this simple presence, this noticing, actually fuel personal growth?
Well, one experience shared was about creating a sort of gap, a pause before reacting.
A gap. How does that work?
So instead of that immediate, emotional response or
Mm.
jumping to a conclusion when something happens,
Which I definitely do.
we all do.
Yeah.
But with practice, you get this tiny moment of space.
Mm-hmm.
And in that space, you can actually choose how to respond consciously.
Okay, I can see how that would change things, especially in like relationships or tricky conversations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That little pause,
Yeah.
that's huge for emotional intelligence. It stops those knee-jerk reactions that, we often regret later.
Yeah, it prevents digging yourself into a hole sometimes.
Exactly. Over time, it can genuinely shift how you interact with people. More understanding, maybe? Less conflict.
And the other speaker talked about self-awareness increasing, starting to see their own maybe negative patterns.
Right. But crucially, not with criticism. Not, oh, I'm terrible for feeling this way.
But more like,
More like curiosity. Like, that's interesting. Why do I react like that in this situation? A shift from judging yourself to just getting curious about yourself.
that feels like a much gentler approach.
It really is. And it ties back to that without judgment piece. Judgment clouds things, right? It makes us defensive. But curiosity opens things up.
You can actually see things more clearly.
Which is what you need for real self-awareness, for real growth. Like I said, it's less about fixing yourself and more about just knowing yourself.
Okay, I'm sold. So for someone listening thinking, all right, I want to try this, what are some easy ways in? Any practical tips from the source?
Definitely. One suggestion was starting super small, like
Yeah.
really small. 2-minute breathing exercises.
Just 2 minutes.
Yeah. And the key thing was, don't try to stop your thoughts. Because, let's be real,
It's not going to happen.
right? Thoughts will come. The practice is just noticing them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a thought, okay? And gently bringing your focus back to the breath.
That makes it sound much less intimidating. So many people think they have to have a totally blank mind.
Exactly. This normalizes the busy mind. The practice isn't no thoughts, it's awareness of thoughts.
Got it. What else?
Mindful walking was another one.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
Basically, leave the phone behind, leave the headphones off, and just walk. Pay attention to the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, the air on your skin, what you see, what you hear.
You're tuning into the physical act of walking and the environment.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
great because it combines movement and presence. Good for people who find sitting still a bit tricky.
Makes sense. Any others?
Mindful journaling came up too.
Which isn't just writing about your day.
Not necessarily. It's more about just writing down whatever you're feeling or thinking right now. No filter, no editing, no trying to make it sound good, just getting it out.
Like observing your inner world on paper.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It can help you see your thoughts and feelings a bit more objectively, maybe create some space from them.
So the common thread here seems to be start simple, start where you are, bring awareness to something in the present moment.
Exactly. Whatever way feels doable. Doesn't have to be a big production.
And there was a final important point made, right, about it being a practice.
Oh, yeah, crucial. Mindfulness isn't a destination you arrive at like, okay, I'm mindful now, check.
If only.
Right? It's an ongoing practice. There's no mastery in that sense. It's just about consistently, showing up, coming back to awareness again and again.
Okay, so let's recap this deep dive a bit. We've looked at how mindfulness, even these small, everyday bits of awareness,
Yeah, even just 2 minutes.
can actually be a really solid tool for personal growth,
Right.
helping us be more present, definitely, building that self-awareness.
Without the harsh judgment.
Right, and giving us that little valuable pause before we react, which can lead to, hopefully, more thoughtful ways of being in the world.
It's pretty amazing, actually, how those small shifts done consistently can really add up. They can change your sense of well-being, how you handle stress, how you connect with others.
And it compounds over time.
Definitely.
So, on that note, maybe a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. Inspired by the source.
Okay.
Think about just one moment today. Could be tiny. Maybe when you're drinking your coffee or walking somewhere, or even like washing the dishes.
A routine moment.
Yeah. Could you intentionally bring some mindful awareness just to that single experience, just for a minute or two? And what might you notice? What details pop out that usually just rush by?
It's a simple experiment.
It is. We'd encourage you maybe try one of those starting points we talked about, the breath, the walk, the journaling, or just noticing a routine moment. See what happens.
Nothing to lose, right?
Exactly. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.